certainly, if the Chinese do it,
well, they have. They practically.
The U.S. will do the opposite. So if the Chinese do implement a CBDC, that will probably be impetus for the U.S. not to do it because it will be so objectionable. So I think that the Chinese adopting a CBDC actually works against the consideration of the idea in the U.S. since it's proof that it's an authoritarian instrument.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have deja vu. We have the debt ceiling drama. And guys, we know once the debt ceiling is actually signed, that's when the big drama is going to start. We know they could have extended the debt ceiling last year. But remember guys, this is all about the fourth industrial revolution. The Fed and the Treasury have to destroy the United States dollar and this American economy in order for the fourth industrial revolution can rise. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And like Len stated, as the Fed was tightening, we had Janet Yellen tapping those government retirement accounts and putting it back into the market. Now that money has to go back. Plus, the Treasury account has to be refunded. And then on top of it, the Fed is still going to be tightening. That's why I stated by the end of the year, the Fed is definitely going to pivot. Remember, they keep talking about soft landing and hard landing. They're talking about this digital transformation. And once this debt ceiling is signed, there's going to be a lot of cuts to programs. And then over the next 2 years, the debt ceiling will not be lifted. And remember, guys, this is part of the plan. Remember, the fourth industrial revolution moves in phases. America will no longer have the power it had before because more nations are getting off the dollar. This is not something that happens overnight. This collapse has started, but it's going to go gradually. And I don't care where you live, you're starting to see automation. You're starting to see the AI, robots, algorithms, and drones. And we know Skynet is almost finished. I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. By the central banks destroying the U.S. dollar, it gives the rise to these stable coins and CBDCs, where they're able to tell you what, where, and when and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
But in recent months and weeks, they've drawn that down to under 100 billion, which is way below their target because they still have bills to pay, but they're not able to issue debt. And ironically, while that's happening, while that cash is draining out of this like treasury void and back into the financial system, it's actually offsetting a lot of the QT that's been happening.
So they're nullifying each other. They're canceling each other.
Exactly. They're nullifying each other. But then the question becomes, when they actually solve the debt ceiling,
it's literally unprecedented. We've had many debt limit impasses going back 25 or 30 years, but we've never crossed this, what is the August 2 date, and gone into a situation where the government no longer has enough cash to pay all of its bills. So there's no roadmap, there's no rule book, none of those things. So they would have been examining basic things like the legal question: do they actually have the authority to choose to pay bills in anything but the order in which they're due? And it's not at all clear that they do. There's no statute that says, we've ordered you to spend this money, Congress has, but we haven't, but in case we don't give you the money to do that, you should do it in the following order, or you should make up your own mind. So Treasury might actually have concluded that it didn't have legal authority to pick one over another and would just pay the bills in chronological order out of available cash flow. Or it may have decided, I hope we never find out, but it may have decided that it did have that ability, and that it would pick Social Security and payment for the troops and things like that, which really must be paid. But again, I hope we never find out the answer.
Speculating on what will happen next.
So bad economic news drives people out of stocks and into bonds. And when people go into bonds, they bid up the price of bonds, and that bids down the interest rate that the government is required to pay. So that's what's happening now. We had bad economic news last week. Another thing that drives people into our bonds is the turmoil in Europe. As it becomes more and more clear that the Europeans have not figured out what to do with the potential default of some of their major nations. And so global money tends to come into Treasury securities at that time. So that's what's going on. Now, the market is clearly pricing in a successful vote on the part of the House and the Senate. Stock markets were up. I haven't looked since I got on the air, obviously, but stock markets were up all over the world as soon as the president made his announcement last night. So, if the bill does pass, it'll be, at least in the short term, good for the stock market as well.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.